Okay, so by public demand, we have a video for the last page of chapter 4. So we are to find the zeros of this function. Okay, it's a cubic function, so we cannot factor it easily. Well, we could try by grouping, but it's not going to work. If you try to do the buckets, it will not work. There's no common factor here, and so you are stuck. Well, we have two options. We need to find one factor so that we bring it down to the depressed polynomial. So the one degree down is going to be a quadratic, and we are very comfortable with quadratic. So what are the options? Well, the first option is to use a calculator. So since that's an easy one, I will just point it out. So you will plug it in. Okay, so you will use a calculator. You will use a calculator to find the roots. So you will put the function in. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a function there. You will graph it. You can see the graph. Go to the table, so second table. Okay, and then look for the place where the output y1 is 0. So y1 is 0 when x is -2. Okay, y1 is 0 when x is -2. Okay, so you keep that as your note. I will come back to this later. The other option without calculator, so no calculator. Okay, so no calculator. If this comes in the no calculator section of the test, right? So no calculator. Well, this is when you have to come up with those options, the rational root theorem. You find all the contestants, right? So the -30 give you all the values of p, and what are the factors of -30? Plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 4, not 4. Thank you for being awake there. I was falling asleep here. 5, 6, 10, 15, and 30. And then that -30 comes from here, and the 1 is in front of x cubed. So we have a 1. So it's the coefficient of the highest degree, and you have plus or minus 1. So all the contestants, who is going to win? So all the contestants first. So these are all the contestants. The Q is not doing anything, right? So we have all the contestants. Okay. Once you have all the contestants, you have two options, right? You have two options. Okay. One is synthetic division. So synthetic division, you want to know which of these is a factor, or we can substitute. What does it mean? Well, with synthetic division, your option is you take each of these contestants and put them out there. So you'll put 1 here, and you will do synthetic division. Okay, so you will do a synthetic division. So 1, 5, and now we have -36. Okay, it is not 0. That means we don't have a factor. Okay, that means this is not a root. Also, I'm using the word root and factor interchangeably. I will get to that soon. So you will keep doing each one. So we'll have -1. Okay, you'll have -1. Then you'll have +2. Okay, you'll have -2. Okay, so you'll keep doing until you find a 0. This is what you're looking at. This is what you're looking at. With substitution, what you're looking at is you are checking, is P of 1 equals 0? If you substitute P of 1, meaning you are substituting P of 1, right? You are substituting 1 for x, and that's not 0. P of -1, not 0. P of 2, not 0. Now, because we already know the answer, I'm going to say P of 2 is 0. Okay? So, you either have your answer here, P of 2 is 0, we also got it from the calculator, by the way, p of negative 2, apologies, or through synthetic division, you would have got this as 0. Okay, so once you have got this p of negative 2 as 0, you still have to do the synthetic division. Okay, why? Because you want the quotient. So I will do synthetic division real quick here. Okay, now what does this mean? Well, we have confirmed that that is a factor, and now we have broken up the original function. So all of the three, we have x is negative 2, we have x is negative 2, and we have x is negative 2. And we have the quotient. So if you had got it by calculator, you still have to do the synthetic division. Okay, for the factor. You may not have to do all the other ones, just this one. So this is the key here. This is the key. Okay, this is our key. What does it mean? Well, I have broken p of x. So I'm finding the zeros of p of x. Okay, I want to know where p of x is 0, right? I have broken up p of x into two parts. X plus 2. How do I get that? Well, I will just write it for reference here. Factor is x minus the root. Okay, x minus the root, or x minus the 0. So we know that negative 2 is the root, or the 0. We know negative 2 is the root. So x minus of minus 2 is one of the roots, right? That's the factor. Well, if this is a factor, because we know it's a factor, why? Because the remainder is 0. What is the other factor? The other factor is the quotient. This is the quotient, x squared plus 2x minus 15 equals 0. Okay. Well, what does this mean? Well, it means that either this is 0, so that means x plus 2 is 0, x equals negative 2. So this is one of your zeros, or x squared plus 2x minus 15 is 0, meaning this part is 0. Well, if this part is 0, then I have to factor this. I want to know what values of x will make this statement true. I want to know what will make this statement true. Ultimately, I want to know what makes this statement true, right? But now I've subdivided. I want to know what makes this statement true. Well, either x is 5 or x is negative 3. So I got three values of x that make this statement true. Okay, ultimately I want to know what makes this 0. What will give me p of x equals 0? So we got negative 2, 5, and negative 3.